Please remain standing for the school song. Please be seated. To the principal, Dr. Jagger, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, students, and members of the school family, welcome to our 140th presentation night. I would like to acknowledge that we're here tonight on the land of the Gadigal people. The Gadigal people are the traditional custodians of this land and form part of the wider Aboriginal nation known as the Eora. I would like to pay my respects to elders both past, present, and extend those respects to any Aboriginal people here tonight. Tonight, we are honoured to have as our special guest presenters Emeritus Professor Geoffrey Kellerman, SPHS Old Boy Class of 1942, Miss Angela Lyris, OAM, Director of Educational Leadership, Miss Megan and Catherine Morgan, mother and sister of the late James Morgan, Mr. and Mrs. Terry Meakin, school family, Miss Virginia Flint, Community Relations and Partnerships Manager on behalf of the Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation, Mr. Richard Halliday, brother of the late Stephen Halliday, Mr. Christopher Brown, Foundation Chairperson, Mr. Andrew Heibler, PNC Vice President, Mr. Jeff Danier, Relieving Principal, SGHS, Mr. Nathan McDonald, SPHS Old Boy, Professor Ron Trent, President, SPHS School Council, Mr. Jeff Andrews, former chairperson of the Sydney High School Foundation and Life Governor. Current presidents and representatives of our sporting fraternity, school committees and associations, as well past students at the school and their families. As the current school captain of Sydney Boys High School, I offer you all a warm welcome and thank you for taking the time to share this important occasion with us. Shortly, I'll be calling on our guest, Emeritus Professor Geoffrey Kellerman, to present the occasional address. Emeritus Professor Geoffrey Kellerman was a pupil at High before and during the Second World War, from 1938 to 1942. He then studied medicine at Sydney University from 1943 to 1950. He then spent nearly 40 years teaching his real interest, biological chemistry, to thousands of students in various universities. After retirement, he had a 25-year stint in the Hospital Chemical Pathology Service, finally retiring at 90. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Emeritus Professor Geoffrey Kellerman.
So, a little history. So, prize winners, honoured guests, family, friends of the prize winners, Dr. Jagger and his devoted school colleagues. Thank you for the honour of presenting this short talk on this important occasion, celebrating those who have benefited most from their attendance at the school. It's exactly 86 years since I first trod the boards of the school, in 1938. And let me get the relatively unimportant things over first. I left the school 5 years later as dux and studied medicine at Sydney University till 1950 and finished off with the University Medal. And then I spent 2 years as an intern at Prince Alfred Hospital. Why did I say unimportant? because our examinations at that time rewarded the returning of information that we had committed to memory during the preceding year. And it was in those 2 years as an intern that I really came to realise that knowledge alone was useful, but not sufficient. You had to know how to use it productively. There were one particular teacher and a couple of others, somewhat less, who tried to help me during the year, what's currently years 11 and 12, to get on top of this problem. But I was a bit young for it, and they were a bit busy, and it was a real cold shower when I got to the hospital and realised what life was about. Then, of course, I had to decide what career I'd like, and by then we'd learnt the chemistry of the smaller components of most of the bits and pieces of the body of all living organisms, but we didn't know anything really about how it worked to make a living organism. We hoped that that would become more and more knowledge during the next 30, 40, 50 years, and that was the area that interested me most, so I went back to the university here in London, in New York, to try to get on top of what the current knowledge was. And it wasn't very much. One person could understand pretty well everything that was known in 1955. And since then I've worked in 3 universities, Sydney for 10 years, Monash for 9, and then Newcastle for 17, trying to help and to hand over to students and younger doctors this love of the knowledge of the chemistry of what's going on in life. It's been an enormous challenge to keep up with what's happening. After about 1990, it got too big for me. There's just too much to remember and to know about, and so I had to read reviews. And by about 2010, I had to read reviews of reviews. And lately I stopped reading anything, almost. But it's been fascinating to do it. I had 25 years after retiring from the university in the pathology department at the hospital, looking at all the chemical analyses that we do on blood to try to help the diagnostic and the treatment process. And that's been fascinating too, because you get all sorts of interesting problems, and you realise that practically every patient is unique. And it's very difficult to make rules and just work on your memory. But it's been great fun. It really has been great fun. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. As I tell people, if I hadn't enjoyed it, I wouldn't have gone back. I would have been just sat there and twiddled my thumbs for 5 years and dropped dead from boredom. So let me just make a few comments, though, on problems that I consider unsolved. That one. By getting the right question and pressing the right buttons, I can access any knowledge in the world from practically any country, and a real IT expert can do much more. How does that affect the education and the examination processes in the school and in the university? I experienced a system where the ultimate authority was the teacher and the textbook. And school and university students had to absorb the stuff and spit it back in the exam. With this instantaneous ability to get whatever knowledge you want, how much actual stored factual knowledge do you need to carry with you to enable you to ask the right question? I think that's the hardest question of all, how to ask the right question. Can you teach people, or have they grown up with that ability? And if they haven't got it, are they doomed? I don't know. But it's a real problem, because it makes such a difference in the way you teach and the way you think and the way you examine and the way you live. And so, is there an age when you should switch from learning basic knowledge to learning how to use it? Is that age different for everybody? Some people grow up earlier, as I suspect they do. They go through puberty at different ages. And the other one, how much of what we call problem-based learning and problem solving is actually calling on your memory? Because I've seen some of the most experienced physicians in the world, both in Sydney and particularly in New York, and they had an enormous experience, and most of the problems they solved were of the nature, I saw that in 1932, and I found it was such and such, and this man has the same. So it's a problem that's how much is memory, how much is recall, how much is experience. It's a real problem. And the other one, what do we do about exams? Because you may think I'm cynical, but I think students study to pass the exam. I don't think they study to learn the stuff they need for the next 50 years. So unless you make the exam relevant, they learn the wrong things. And they come out of passing the exam and they still don't know how to apply it all. I think that's the major problem that this IT revolution has raised, and it's getting worse year by year. So we tried, when we set up the faculty in Newcastle from 1976 onwards, to get a problem-based learning strategy to see how it went. Some students were very good. Some were not so wonderful, which is a polite way of saying bad. I had one of our students of 6 years standing, she's been through 6 years, who gave a most superb analysis of a very difficult heart problem. Very difficult, very complex, yesterday morning in the hospital, and it was a great pleasure to hear somebody actually doing what we thought we were trying to teach them. And these people leave us behind. They're better than we were. So I think that other universities are trying different strategies. Sydney and Melbourne are trying other things for different purposes. And the other question is that students choose which medical school to go to. They look at what the program is supposed to be and they choose it. And if they choose the right thing, they make it happen. And so student recruitment's a two-way process. I'd love to discuss with Dr. Jagger at leisure, I don't know if he would, how do you get students to this stage if they can ask the right questions? And the other one, should you ban the phone in the classroom? Or should you try to teach them how to use it properly and wisely? Because they're going to do it for the rest of their life. So should they start learning for life in the school? Thank you very much for listening to my ramblings.
Thank you, Emeritus Professor Kellerman. We now come to the presentation of the academic awards. Our Year 7 Year Advisor, Dr. Robin O'Driscoll, will introduce the recipients for Year 7 awards.
I would like to ask Miss Madeline Rigby, Head Teacher of History, to present the awards for the Year 7 students. Okay, the recipient of the Gordon Barr Memorial Prize for Ducks and the Award for Science, William Tran. The P&C Prize for Second, Barry Zhang. The Doris M. Gray Prize for Third and the Prize for French, Lokesh Padithan. The English Prize, Jamie Liu. The Prize for Mathematics, Jason Van. The History Prize to Alex Huang. The Prize for Geography, Maxim Kareev. The Prize for Design and Technology, Ruyi Chen. The prize for visual arts to Lucas Zhu. The music award goes to Oscar Ho. The Chinese award goes to William Wang. The award for Japanese goes to Ori Hussain. The Latin prize goes to Joshua Chen. And the prize for personal development, health and physical education, Owen Smith. Thank you, Ms. Rigby, and congratulations, Year 7.
Thank you, Ms. Rigby and Dr. O'Driscoll. One of our Year 8 year advisors, Mr. Andrew Wang, will now introduce the Year 8 prize winners.
I would like to ask Ms. Rebecca Dam, Head Teacher, Technology and Applied Science, to present the awards for Year 8 students. The recipient for the F.A. Elgar Prize for Ducks, Prize for Geography and Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Yuhei Wang. The recipient for the PNC Prize for Second, Charlie Cheshire. The recipient for the Doris M. Gray Prize for Third, the Prize for Japanese and the Prize for Mathematics, J.K. Mao. The recipient for the Norman Save Memorial Prize for English, Leo Dye. The recipient for the Science Prize, Lin Lee. The recipient for the History Prize, Henry Tai. The recipient for the Design and Technology, Wesley Hamilton. The recipient for Music, Andrew Don. The recipient for Classical Greek and Latin, Sergeant Thea Gallingham. The recipient for Chinese, Terence Wang. The recipient for French, Milan Babin. And the recipient for German, Anderson Lee. Thank you, Ms. Dam. Well done to the Year 8 prize winners.
Thank you, Ms. Dam and Mr. Wang. Mr. Kurt Rich, the Year 9 year advisor, will introduce the prize winners for his year group.
Good evening. I would like to invite Mr. Tommy Zhang, Head Teacher of Languages Other than English, to present the awards for Year 9. The J.H. Killip Prize for Ducks, Lachlan Ewan. The PNC Prize for Second, the Associate Professor Charles Grimshaw Prize for History, the R.K. Levy's Prize for English, Jude O. The Philip Seymour Prize for Third, First in German and Visual Arts, Max McLeod. First in Mathematics, Wenson Don. The Prize for Science, Liam Fong. Prize for Commerce, Adrit Mitra. prize for geography, Ryan Allen. The prize for design and technology, Tim Chen. The Howard Ruby Prize for photography and digital media, Max Dye. The prize for graphics technology, James Nguyen. The prize for music, Vincent Wang. Prize for drama, Nathan Nguyen. The prize for Chinese, Leo Wang. The prize for Japanese, Dhiren Sarath Chandra. The Lionel Foucault Prize for French, Leo Chen. The Jeanette Rayan Prize for Latin, Hudson Kai. And the prize for Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Vedantik Bhattacharya. Congratulations, Year 9 students, and thank you, Mr. Zhang.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Rich. Ms. Beth Hinton, Year 10 Year Advisor, will introduce the prize winners for her year group.
I would like to ask Mr. Kyle Caputo, Head Teacher of English, to present the awards to Year 10. The Sir Frederick Jordan Memorial Prize for Ducks, Liam Nottage. The PNC Prize for Second and an award for elective history, Alistair Yong. Prize for Third and an award for commerce, Nathan Hugh. The H.A. Koss Prize for English, Rayan Foys. Prize for Mathematics, Clinton Chow. The Professor Herbert Huppard Prize for Science, Maurice Wong. Prize for Geography, James Deng. Prize for Game Design and Software Development, Shafayat Hossain. Prize for Design and Technology, Tafli Fan. The Howard Ruby Prize for Photography and Digital Media, Ioannis Chatzinikalo. Prize for Graphics Technology, Alex Huang. Prize for Robotics and Software Design, Andrew Pye. For Visual Arts, Jacob Lim, Jim. For Visual Design, Julian Luchko. Prize for Drama, Brandon Zhu. For Chinese, Jeff Tse. Prize for the Edgar Bembrick Memorial Prize for Latin and the A.H. Pelham Prize for Classical Greek, Brendan Wu. Prize for Physical Activity and Sports Studies, Dylan Dutt. and prize for personal development, health and physical education, Jin Shim. Congratulations, students, and thank you, Mr. Caputo.
Thank you, Mr. Caputo and Ms. Hinton. The prize winners for Year 11 will be introduced by one of their year advisors, Mr. Lucas Maddow.
I would like to ask Mr. Patrick Parker, Head Teacher Mathematics, to present the awards to the Year 11 students. So first up, we have the Keith C. Cameron Memorial Prize for Ducks, and for Chinese continuers, Daniel Su. We have the PNC Prize for Second, Kiran Nayaga. The prize for third and the K. Saxby Prize for Mathematics, Ryan Wang. The Peter Walker Prize for English Advanced, Deb Punjabi. The F.A. Elgar Prize for English Extension, Patrick Nguyen. For Mathematics Extension and Latin Continuers, Ethan Fan. So we have for the C.W. Wicks Prize for Physics, the J. Manchester Prize for Biology, and the SHOB Rugby Club Prize for Chemistry, Tian Xing Yang. Ooh. Beat me to it. For Ancient History, Jacob Yin. For the Clarie Martin Memorial Prize for Modern History, Toby Hui. For Geography, Ayan Azar. For Business Studies, Vithushan Shrimuraga Kumar. For Legal Studies and the UNSW Australia School of Economics Prize for Economics, Andras Dang. For Engineering Studies, Tian Chen. Software Design and Development, Neil Sharma. Design and Technology, Alex Huang. The Margaret Richardson Prize for Visual Arts is Tony Park. For Music 2, Alistair Yong. For Studies of Religion, Jack Russley. For German Continuers, Finn Hopkins. For Drama, we have Joseph Britton. And finally, for Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Michael Lee. All right, so thank you to Mr. Parker. Please join me in congratulating the group winners for Year 11. Sorry, the prize winners for Year 11.
Thank you, Mr. Maddow and Mr. Parker. Mrs. Jeanette Jackson, one of the 2023 Year 12 advisors, will be introduced the recipients of the HSC Awards.
It is my pleasure to invite Miss Angela Lyris, Director of Educational Leadership, to present the HSC prizes. The first prize is the Principal's Prize and Warneke Trophy for Ducks, and the GC Saxby Prize for Mathematics Extension 1, and the Henry F. Halloran Diamond Jubilee Prize for Chemistry goes to Ryan Wu. P&C Prize for second, and the Alan C. Corner Prize for Physics, Justin Vu. The prize for third and the A.B. Piddington Prize for English Literature and the Paul Griffin's Prize for Economics goes to Landre Zhao. The prize for English Extension 1 and the H.C. Fisk Prize for Ancient History and the John Henry Fraser Prize for Studies of Religion Unit 2, Saban Mustafa. The Margaret Richardson Prize for English Extension 2, Octavio Gabaja Zapata. The prize for Mathematics, Ethan Pham. The University of New South Wales Prize for Mathematics and Statistics, Mohammed Medlej. The John Henry Fraser Prize for Studies of Religion, Unit 1, Mahathir Ahmed. The prize for English Extension and Chinese Continuous, Sean Lim. The prize for Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Saxon Gersel. Thank you, Ms. Laris, and congratulations, Year 12 students.
I would like to invite Mr. David Smith, Year 12 Year Advisor, to introduce the rest of the Year 12 academic prizes.
It now gives me great pleasure to invite Mrs. Megan Morgan to the stage to present the next group of the Year 12 prize winners. The James Morgan Memorial Prize for History Extension, Liam Fian. The S.H. Smith Memorial Prize for Modern History, Ryan Wang. The Frank S. Bradhurst Prize for Biology, Lim Tran. The Charles Winston Prize for Geography, Samin Hussain. Business Studies, Vishwarth Anand. Legal Studies, Afnan Salman. And the Meakin Prize for Design and Technology, Caden Quang. The MG Speedy Prize for Engineering Studies, Jason Fua. Software Design and Development, Saxon Dean. Music 1, Timothy Jian. Music 2, Daniel Su. And Music Extension, Moshi Tao. Thank you, Mrs. Megan Morgan. Congratulations, class of 2023. That concludes the HSC Academic Awards, and I'd like to congratulate all the prize recipients on their fine efforts. I wish all of you the very best of luck in whatever pathway you find yourselves taking in years ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Lyris, Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. Jackson, and Mr. Smith. I would also like to add my congratulations to all the HSC academic recipients on results in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the academic awards for this evening, and again, congratulations to all prize winners. I would now like to introduce our musical presentation for this evening. Daniel Su will perform Impromptu Number 2, Op 31, 1883 by Gabriel Fauré. Thank you, Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jagger will now give the principal's address.
Thank you, Luke. Special guest Professor Kellerman, your career makes me feel like I'm not really trying very hard. Ms. Angela Lyris, OAM Director of Education Leadership, DOE, Mr. Chris Brown, OAM Chairman of Sydney High Foundation Limited, Mr. Andrew Heibler, Vice President, Sydney Boys High P&C, Professor Ron Trent, President, SBHS School Council, Life Governor Mr. Jeff Andrews, representing the Sydney High School Old Boys Union, and Mr. Jeff Denyer, Relieving Principal, Sydney Girls High, Ms. Virginia Flint, representing Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation, guest presenters Mr. Nathan McDonald, Mr. Terry Meakin, Megan Catherine Morgan, Richard Halliday, guest partners and relatives, Old Boys staff, parents and prize winners. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Our most significant achievement in technology last year was to stay independent and not to migrate to DOE ET4L. We can continue to run Clipboard and another 50 or more applications and programs that could not be supported under the ET4L aegis. It'll be more expensive for us, but well worth it considering the additional IT services and applications we can maintain. We've invested the time and money to meet the security standards required by DOE, including bifurcation of this Governor Centre network. Our success was due to the fantastic design and analysis work by James Rudd and David Isaacs, the calm and persistent negotiating skill of Mr. John Perellis, and the strong support of our Director, Angela Lyris. My heartfelt thanks go to them for their intensive efforts on behalf of our school community. Due to the efforts of Jamie Kay, George Barris and David Isaacs, we transitioned to Central for our reconfigured student award scheme. And so we've now changed so that if you earn 30 points within a category and there are 7 of them, then you're awarded a nomination. And if you achieve 4 of these, you'll get a bronze award, etc. It's only possible to earn a maximum of 2 nominations in one category in any one year. So this restriction preserves some breadth of participation. It's an electronic administration of the system and a running tally of points being kept for every student. And the ID files are easy for teachers to make and send. So a lot of work went into this in collaboration with Central, and the scheme should be more user-friendly, more visible, and more efficient in accounting for everything that our students do so that they can be recognised and acknowledged. Our first year of focusing on sentence-conscious pedagogy was very expensive in terms of additional teacher hours and additional classes. We really threw some resources at trying to make a difference. Our discourse, as a result, is more attuned to literacy improvement. We've developed materials and have strategies in place to complete program modifications for the junior school by the end of 2024. And we've delivered literacy workshops to identified students and supporting them in 7 and 9 for those that require more intensive literacy development assistance. We've expanded Atomy availability for students with deficits in subject areas who want to improve. And we're hoping for improved Year 9 NAPLAN results in March. Our HSC results for 2023 were somewhat higher than for 2022, despite the drop in the leagues tables. High boys earned 536 band 6 E4s, which was the lowest number since 2009. The ATAR average was 91.73, calculated for 207 candidates with a standard deviation of 8.91. The 167 students who enrolled in 2018 earned a mean ATAR of 91.74, and the 44 later enrolling students had an ATAR mean of 91.53. In all, 37 students scored 99 or higher, 67 between 95 and 98.95, but only 143 scored above 90, our smallest number since 2005. In terms of band 5, 6 percentages per course, 8 were at 100%, 1 at 95 to 99, 3 at 90 to 94, and 17 below 90. Our 2023 course means compared to 2022, 13 increased and 18 decreased. When comparing high with statistically similar school groups, 18 courses were positive and 12 negative. Our average school score was 86.22 for 2 units versus 73.17 for the state. Caden Quang and Hassan Kabir have had their major works nominated for consideration in Shape, and music performance nominations for Encore included Akira Ha, Timothy Jan, Yanni Scalis, Joshua Tang, Mossy Tao, and Benjamin Pirum's composition Incognito was selected for inclusion in the HSC Showcase Encore, a significant honour, and you heard that work prior to this gathering. Our boys won 3 GPS premierships in volleyball and rifle shooting. 3 students represented at national level, 4 individuals and 6 teams competed successfully at national schools level, while 7 individuals competed at state level. Additional significant individual and team achievements for 2023 are outlined for you to peruse at the end of your program. They're too numerous to mention right now. Forgive those that I haven't been able to mention. So in conclusion, I indulge myself with some layman's observations, this time about the future of our planet. The class of 2023 will graduate from university and start their careers at a time of existential crisis in the climate. Around 2030, we'll see the effects of global efforts to reduce emissions for greenhouse gases. At that time, our progress towards our 2050 emissions reduction targets will be assessed. At present, coal, oil and gas still make up more than 82% of the world's energy supply, with renewables around 14% and nuclear only at 4%. There are at least 3 scenarios for climate change interventions. The stated policy scenario, or what countries are doing now, may result in plus 2.4 C of warming by 2100. The announced pledges scenario, or what countries are promising to do, if implemented, might result in a 1.7 C increase in warming. And the what is needed scenario to achieve net emissions by 2050 would result in a 1.4 C warming by 2100. We are warned repeatedly that global temperature rises beyond 1.5 C may result in irreparable damage to our climate. And that tipping point was actually reached and reported on once this year in the last month. So extreme weather events may become the norm by 2030. There are positive technologies to reverse this doomsday scenario. However, manufacturing outstrips insulation by a factor of nearly 3. More could and must be done. Wind energy and electric vehicle proliferation could reduce emissions by 7% globally. Electric vehicles could be promoted and subsidised. There are storage solutions for CO2 and CH4. Hydrogen gas generation from wind and solar is available. Pumped hydro can help if powered by solar. Feeding cattle seaweed could reduce methane emissions significantly. Offshore wind farms, carbon sinks, on-farm carbon sequestration, and carbon credits are all strategies to help. The problem is, will we build community consensus in time to roll out enough of these to make a difference to your lives in 2030? So my message to you is, if you want your grandchildren to be able to flourish, you need to be interested in climate policy and practice. Technology may yet provide the tools to save us, but we need the political will to use them. We all now know the why, and leaders of your generation will need to produce the how. I wish you all good health and good fortune in these troubling times. It was a privilege for me to be your principal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jagger. The next section of our program this evening is a presentation of the Awards of Honour and Distinction and Award Scheme recipients. Our Deputy Principals, Mr. George Barris, Mr. Jay McKay, and Mr. John Perellis will introduce the presenters and recipients of these awards.
It gives me great pleasure to invite Ms. Virginia Flint, Community Relations and Partnerships Manager, to represent the Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation to the stage to present the following awards of honour and distinction. The Class of 1977 Prize for Excellence, Daniel Sue, and the Philip Day Memorial Scholarship, Daniel Sue. The Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation Incorporated Scholarship, Liam Nottage. the Lepre Roger Perifet, Ayan Huck, the J.E. Saxby Bequest, Xavier Perry, the J.W. Gibbs Junior Prize, Azam Muhammad, the J.M. and W.G. Forsyth Memorial Prize, Mark Yang, the Ross Miller Award, Terry Zhang, Thank you, Ms. Flint. Congratulations to this group of prize winners. I would like to now invite Mr. Richard Halliday, brother of the late Stephen Halliday, to the stage to present the next group of awards. The Stephen Halliday Memorial Prize, Nesta Chan. The S&P Zahns Prize, Max Feng. The John Francis Bush Memorial Prize, Dean Johnson. Harvard Book Prize, Luke Tran. The Jeff Tokley Prize for Excellence in Chess, Toby Huey. Congratulations, students. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Holliday. Please welcome Emeritus Professor Jeffrey Kellerman, SPHS Old Boy, to present the next group of awards of honour and distinction. The Oswald Chapman Memorial Prize and the SPHS Best All-Rounder Award, Landry Zuo. The Mitchell A. Seo Memorial Prize, Alan Tan. The Lenny Besser Award for Scientific Initiative, Justin Vu. The John Waterhouse Prize, Sean Lim. The Forage Computing Prize for Excellence, Saxon Dean. The Mark Gainford Prize, Samuel Choi. The 1958 Merit Award, Liam Fien. The Class of 2001 Prize for Outdoor Education, Kenton Liu. The Old Boys Prize, Samuel Yun. The J.W. Gibbs Year 12 Prize, Ryan Wu. The Arch Ferguson Prize, Austin Arcoon. The KJ Andrews Award and the Carol Hardy Memorial Prize, Harrison Francis. Congratulations, students, and thank you, Professor Kellerman.
Thank you, Mr. Barras, and the special guests presenting the last group of prizes. I would like to invite Mr. Jamie Kay, Deputy Principal, to present the rest of the awards of honour and distinction.
I would like to ask Mr. Christopher Brown, Foundation Chairperson, to present the next set of honour and distinction awards. The Deputy Principal's Prize goes to Oscar Chen. To Julius Payne. And Patrick Tarr. The Principal's Award for All-Round Participation and Achievement goes to Octavio Carbajal Sabata. And Matthew Lamb. The Principal Award for Achievement in the Arts goes to each of Akira Ha, Timothy Gian, Yanni Scarless, Joshua Tang, and Moshi Tao. The Principal's Award for Achievement in Industrial Arts, the Class of 1991 Prize, and the Technology Innovation Prize goes to Kadun Kwang. The P&C Prize for Outstanding Contribution to Drama, Nathan Nguyen. The Special Staff Prize, Edward Lai. The High Dedication Award to Jaden Yee. The following students received the Scholar Sportsman Award for Excellence: Saxon Dean, Anderson Lau, Mohammed Medlej, Hikun Nguyen, Chris Shuri, and Tony Wang. The Phil Ainsworth Memorial Prize goes to Subhan Mustafa. Congratulations, boys, and thank you, Mr. Brown. I would like to invite Mr. Jeff Denya, relieving Principal of Sydney Girls High School, to present the following prizes. Leon Samuel Basser Memorial Prize goes to Benjamin Piron, along with the P&C Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Senior Concert Band. The Special Prize for Services to the School goes to Edward Brownlee. The Peter H. Cappy Memorial Prize, James Waxman. And James also receives the Australian Defence Award for Future Innovators. The Australian Defence Award for Future Innovators to Cadet Sergeant Jin Shim. The Australian Defence Leadership and Teamwork Award goes to Cadet Sergeant Liam Finn. And Cadet Corporal Oscar Zhang. The award for most efficient Sydney High School cadets goes to Cadet George Mamelis. The most efficient junior NCO goes to Cadet Corporal Ella Wang. Most efficient senior NCO, Cadet Sergeant Jacob Yin. The Colonel Duffy Sword of Honour for most efficient CUO, Cadet Under Officer Jia Daga. The Major General James Norrie Memorial Prize, Cadet Warrant Officer Class 1 Sophie Jin. And the Australia Defence Award for Future Innovators, Cadet Sergeant Jin Shim. Thank you, Mr. Denyer, and congratulations to all these students.
Thank you, Mr. Kay. Mr. John Perellis, Deputy Principal Administration, will now introduce the award scheme recipients.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sydney Boys High School Award Scheme has been designed to ensure students engage in a wide variety of experiences throughout their school life. These include a combination of a community and school service, as well as representation in leadership, sport, academic and extracurricular activities. I would like to ask Mr. Nathan McDonald to present the following Student Award Scheme prizes for For exceptional contribution to all aspects of school life, we are honoured to present the Joseph Coates Award to the following recipients. Arbray Chowdhury, Liam Fien, Samuel Hui, Matthew Lamb, Patrick Nguyen, Xavier Perry, Kridaya Singh, Luke Tran, and Londre Zuo. The recipients of the Nathan McDonald Award for Student Participation are Octavio Cabajal Zapata, Lucas Chi, Ryan Fang, Harrison Francis, Akila Gunaratne, Ayan Hafiz, Finn Hopkins, Rick Hu, Michael Lee, Kenton Liu, Mohammed Melij, Patrick Nguyen, Andrew Pai, Kridaya Singh, he meant it, Daniel Su, Tony Wang, Aidan Wong, Ryan Wu, Tian Xing Yang, now the recipients of the school trophy are Renshon Belnave, Simanth Bodidi, Sean Lim, Jaden Liu, Benjamin Pirom, Max Russell, Aditya Sharma, Chris Suri, James Waxman, and Jack Wang. Thank you, Mr. Nathan McDonald. Thanks very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Barras, Mr. Kay, and Ms. Perellis, and our distinguished guests. The final part of our program this evening is to recognize and reward the outstanding sporting achievements of 2023. To introduce the recipients of this year's awards, I would like to welcome the relieving head teacher of sport, Ms. Hannah Jackson.
The Award of Sports Blue recognises our elite sportsmen and their outstanding achievements within their chosen sport and within the GPS competition. I would like to call on Mr. Peter Lozu, Head Teacher of Social Science, to present the Sports Blue and other sporting awards. For athletics, Oscar Gravel. And Max Russell. For cross country, Renshin Balnave and Max Russell. For football, Haikun Nguyen. For rifle shooting, James Cow. Saxon Dean. Kyle Lee, Jacob Nee, Jensen Wang, Oscar Chen, Tristan Dean, Alan Liu, and Mark Savoshki. For rugby, we have Oscar Greville, for volleyball, we have Anthony Huang, Sean Lim, and Demetrius Logothesis. Thank you, Mr. Lozo. I'd like to ask Professor Ron Trent to present the next group of sports awards. For the Frank Albert Cup for Senior Athletics Champion, the MacArthur Memorial Cup for 1500 metre Athletics Champion, and the John Perellis Cross Country Trophy, we have Max Russell. For the AM Eady Cup for 100 metre Athletics Champion, Kevin G. For the William Soothall Memorial Trophy for Basketball, Henry Lau. For the AC McKibben Memorial Trophy, we have Ayush Madan. So the William Soothall Memorial Trophy for Basketball, Henry Lau. For the Copley Memorial Best and Fairest Player Award for second, Ramin Hossain. For the Ton Russell Prize for Participation in Service to Sport and the Alan Grover Memorial Prize for Most Improved Coxswain, we've got Patrick Tarr. For the Beryl Crockford Memorial Medal, Jake Matthews. For the Doc Bentivoglio Memorial Prize, Leo Varthaka. For the Alan Kippex Trophy for Rugby, Saxon Gersel. For the Rifle Club Championship Cup, Daniel Huang. So congratulations to the prize winners, and thank you, Professor Ronald Trent. And we'll just call upon the Rifle Shooting Blues for James Cowell, Saxon Dean, and Jeff Andrews to present the prize. Kyle Lee. Saxon Dean. Jacob Nee. Jensen Wang. Oscar Chen and Tristan Dean. Alan Liu. And Mark Savosky. For the Sir Roden Cutler Prize for Sportsmanship, Leadership and Commitment to Rifle Shooting, we have Jensen Wang. For the Warwick Seagull Memorial Prize for Sportsmanship and Fellowship and the David Brunton Gibb Prize for Soccer, Hyken Ewan. The W.W. Ivo Wyatt Memorial Trophy for Senior Swimming and the Claude Trussiter Trophy for 100-metre breaststroke, Jaden Yee. The Race Me Water Polo Trophy, Edwin Cho. The Brian Alsop Memorial Prize for Eric Liu. For the Graham Pilger Prize, Aidan McManus. For the Australian Olympic Changemaker Award, Renshan Balnave. Also receiving the award, Henry Lau. For the GPS of New South Wales OBU Council Prize, Alan Liu. For the SGHS Cup for Games and Sportsmanship, Oscar Chen. The New South Wales Premier Sporting Challenge Medal, Luke Tran. For the John Skyring Cross Memorial Cup for Outstanding Sportsmanship, Caden Kwang. Well, that concludes the Sporting Achievement Awards, and I would like to congratulate all prize winners and acknowledge the time and effort they've devoted to the various sporting pursuits in the school. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognise and thank the large number of teachers, parents, organisers, coaches and volunteers for their continuing commitment, enthusiasm and valuable assistance in making the wide variety of sporting achievements available to our students at the school. Thanks so much and congratulations again.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson and the presenters. I am pleased to invite Mr. Sean Lim, School Captain 2023, to express thanks to those involved in this evening's proceedings.
Thank you, Luke. Good evening, Dr. Jagger, special guests, staff, parents, and students. I think it's so wonderful that our school places great importance on occasions such as tonight. As we gather together, students are recognized for their achievements across the cornerstones of our school's founding purpose: excellence in academics, sporting, and other co-curricular activities. But I'd like to stress the point that not all prizes awarded were based on numerical results. So to all students watching, I hope you recognize how it is your attitude, not solely your aptitude, that is of great importance when undertaking an endeavor. Now, having witnessed the wide array of student achievements tonight, I'd also like to recognize the effort of those who organized this evening's proceedings. So firstly, I'd like to thank Ms. Chan, Mrs. Liu, Ms. May, Ms. Stewart, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Fong, the year advisors, media team, cadets, prefects, and any other supporting staff for their continued efforts in making tonight run smoothly. To Mr. James Rudd, working hard behind the scenes to organize the lighting and live stream, thank you for your efforts. I'd also like to extend my thanks to the Principal, Dr. Jagger, Deputies Mr. Barris, Mr. Kay, and Mr. Perellis, and all other teachers for the unique support that they provide to all students. Oh, and of course, thank you to Luke for being such an awesome MC. Now, I'm aware that everyone may be quite tired by now, so just before I close, I'd like to say this. In almost every endeavor, there will always be a first, second, and third place. Occasions such as this allow us to recognize those achievements, as it should be. But to all students watching, let us always remember that the academic success of a cohort isn't a 1, 2, or 3-person show. Good cohorts don't have most students staying in their own lane. Good communities, in one way or another, build up each other in and outside of the classroom to succeed together. The camaraderie that I've observed among the new senior cohorts reassures me of the potential I believe our school has to improve in the coming years. Aside from all that, it has been my greatest pleasure to return to school today to speak on such a joyous occasion. I wish all my fellow graduates, staff, and students the best of luck as we move into the new year. Thank you guys. Good night.
Thank you, Sean. To you and all our Year 12 friends from 2023, our very best wishes for your future. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our special guest this evening, Emeritus Professor Jeffrey Kellerman, as a token of our gratitude for the time you have taken to join us for this special occasion. It is with pleasure we present you with this gift from the school. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our presentation night ceremony for another year. On behalf of the school family, I would like to thank our special guests, teachers, parents, and friends for joining with us in our celebration of the fine achievements of the students at Sydney Boys High School. Everyone is invited to supper at the foyer. Would you all please stand and join in singing Avance Australia Fair? Please remain standing for the exit of the official party. Thank you everyone for being present tonight. Have a good night.